Picture this: a quiet evening where the air feels heavier than it should, like it's pressing secrets into your skin. I'm sitting on the edge of our worn-out couch, the fabric fraying at the seams, just like so many things in my life right now. My name's Jessica, and at 23, I've already got a year of marriage under my belt with Ryan, the man I swore to stand by through thick and thin. We're tucked into this tiny apartment on the outskirts of town, where the walls are thin enough to hear the neighbors' arguments, and the dreams we once had seem to shrink a little more each day. Ryan's a good man, or at least, I keep telling myself that. He's got this rugged charm, a smile that could melt ice, and hands that know how to hold me when the world feels too big. But lately, those hands have been more absent than present, and I'm left tracing the outlines of where they used to linger. I'm not naive. I know marriage isn't all stolen glances and whispered promises. There are nights when we're tangled up in each other, losing ourselves in a dance of passion that I can only describe as a wildfire catching in the dark. It's raw, intense, a kind of heat that burns away the doubts for a while. But then morning comes, and the embers cool, leaving me wondering if that's all we've got left to keep us warm. I spend my days working at a local diner, the kind of place where the coffee's always bitter and the tips are barely enough to cover the bills. My apron's stained with grease and regret, but I smile through it, because what else can I do? It's a typical Friday evening, and I'm sprawled on that same tattered couch, my feet throbbing from a long shift at the retail store down the street. My sneakers are kicked off, and I'm rubbing my aching soles, dreaming of nothing more than a quiet night with a cheesy movie and a blanket. The hum of the city outside our window feels distant, like it's happening to someone else. Then Ryan bursts through the door, his energy a stark contrast to my exhaustion. He's got this spark in his eyes, brighter than usual, and a grin that's almost too wide. He drops his bag by the door and plops down next to me, his hand brushing my knee in a way that sends a familiar warmth through me, even if I'm too tired to act on it. "Hey Jess, guess what?" he says, his voice buzzing with excitement. "Some of the guys are getting together at the old Marwood Hotel downtown. Just a small party, nothing crazy. Thought it'd be a good way to shake off the week. You in?" I hesitate, my body screaming for rest. The idea of dragging myself out feels like climbing a mountain, but Ryan's enthusiasm is infectious. He leans closer, his breath warm against my ear as he murmurs, "Come on, babe. Let's have some fun. You deserve a break." That little push, that hint of promise in his tone, tips the scale. I sigh, a small smile tugging at my lips, and agree to go. I shuffle to our cramped bedroom, digging through the closet for something decent to wear. I settle on a pair of worn jeans that hug me just right, and a simple black top that's nice enough to pass for a night out. We head to the Marwood Hotel, the kind of place that's seen better days, with its faded grandeur and flickering neon sign out front. The lobby smells of old carpet and stale beer. But as we make our way to the rented suite on the 5th floor, the buzz of voices and music grows louder, pulling me out of my tired haze. The room is packed with familiar faces, friends from Ryan's old crew, a few folks I've met at past gatherings, and Ethan, a quiet guy with sharp eyes who's always been around but never said much to me. I grab a drink, something cheap and fruity, and settle into the rhythm of the night. The hours slip by with casual chatter and laughter, the kind that fills a room but doesn't quite reach your soul. We play drinking games, shouting over each other as we toss cards and down shots. I'm starting to loosen up, the tension in my shoulders easing, but I can't help noticing Ryan. He's not his usual carefree self. He's on edge, his laugh's a little too sharp, his glances my way too frequent, carrying a weight I can't decipher. It's like he's watching me for something, waiting. I try to brush it off, telling myself it's just the alcohol playing tricks on my mind, but then I catch Ethan staring at me from across the room. His gaze is intense, piercing through the crowd, and it sends a shiver down my spine. There's something in his eyes, curiosity maybe, or something darker, that makes my skin prickle with unease, yet I can't look away. It's a strange pull, a mix of discomfort and a flicker of intrigue I don't want to acknowledge. About an hour later, as the party hums around us, Ryan tugs me aside near the balcony door, away from the group. The cool night air seeps through the glass, a stark contrast to the heat of the room, and his hand on my arm feels heavier than it should. His tone shifts, dropping low, serious, but there's an odd excitement lacing his words that makes my stomach twist. "Jess, I've been thinking about something," Ryan continues, his voice still low, almost a whisper, as if he's testing the waters. But before I can even process what he's hinting at, I feel my cheeks flush with a mix of confusion and something I can't quite name. I pull away from him, my face burning with embarrassment, the heat creeping down my neck. My heart's pounding as I turn on my heel and rush back toward the center of the room, searching for some kind of anchor in this storm of emotions. I find Ryan again, now laughing with a few others, and I grab his arm, my voice tight. "What the hell are you doing, Ryan? What was that about?" He just chuckles, a sound that grates on my nerves, and shrugs it off like it's nothing. "Relax, Jess. It's just a bit of fun. No harm done. I love seeing you let loose for once." His words sting like he's mocking me, and I can feel my anger bubbling up, hot and sharp. My hands are trembling as I step closer, my voice shaking with every word. "This isn't okay. You can't just do that and act like it's a game." But he doesn't even flinch. Instead, he rolls his eyes, grabs a bottle from the nearby table, pours himself another drink, and turns back to the group, dismissing me as if I'm overreacting. The laughter around us picks up again, but it feels hollow, like a mask over something uglier. I stumble back, my legs feeling unsteady, and sink onto the edge of a bed in the corner of the suite, the cheap mattress creaking under me. My mind is racing, trying to piece together what just happened, what Ryan's playing at. The party awkwardly resumes around me, the music blaring louder as if to drown out the tension. I glance up, searching the room, and notice Ethan in the far corner. He's avoiding my gaze now, his sharp eyes fixed on the floor, but I can still feel the weight of his presence, heavy and suffocating, like a shadow I can't shake. My stomach churns with unease. I'm still sitting on that creaky bed in the corner of the hotel suite, my hands gripping the edge of the mattress, as if it's the only thing keeping me grounded. The music and chatter swirl around me, but it's all background noise now, a distant hum compared to the storm raging in my chest. Ryan slides onto the bed beside me, his presence too close, too heavy. His voice drops to a low, insistent murmur, each word slicing through me like a cold blade. "Jess, I've been thinking more about this. I want to see you with Ethan. Really with him, you know? Not just a fleeting moment. I want to watch it happen." My heart stops. It's like the air has been sucked out of the room, leaving me gasping in a vacuum. I turn to him, my eyes wide, searching his face for any sign that this is some twisted joke. But there's nothing. No smirk, no hesitation. He means it. He's asking me to cross a line I never imagined, to share something so intimate with his best friend while he sits there, observing. Tears prick at the corners of my eyes, hot and stinging as my voice cracks. "No, Ryan. This is insane. I'm your wife. How can you even think this, let alone say it out loud?" I'm pleading, my words tumbling out in a desperate rush, but his expression shifts. It's like a mask has fallen away, revealing something cold, detached, almost clinical. "It's something I've always wanted to see, Jess," he says, his tone flat. "It'll bring us closer. Trust me on this." The room feels like it's spinning, the walls closing in as my breath comes in shallow, ragged bursts. I glance around, hoping someone, anyone, will notice, will step in, but the other friends are pretending not to hear, their laughter forced, their eyes darting away. Ethan's standing a few feet off, his face a storm of conflict, but he doesn't say a word. He just stands there, hands shoved in his pockets, looking like he's caught between guilt and something else I don't want to name. The days after that night at the Marwood Hotel felt like walking through a fog so thick I couldn't see my own hands in front of me. I got home with Ryan in the early hours, the silence between us heavier than the city noise outside our tiny apartment. I couldn't look him in the eye. Every time I tried, I saw that cold, detached expression from the hotel room, his words echoing in my mind like a broken record, pushing me towards something so wrong, so against everything I thought we were. His touch, once a comfort, now made my skin crawl. A simple brush of his hand on my shoulder as he passed by in the kitchen sent shivers of revulsion through me, like I was being touched by a stranger. I'd flinch, pull away, and mumble some excuse about being tired, but the truth was, I felt violated by the very idea he'd planted in my head. For a week, I carried that weight, barely speaking, barely sleeping. I'd lie awake at night, staring at the ceiling, replaying every moment of that party, wondering how I'd missed the signs of who Ryan really was beneath the charm. Then, one evening, I couldn't hold it in anymore. We were sitting at our small dining table, the air thick with unspoken tension, and I just broke. My voice trembled as I looked at him, finally meeting his gaze, and said, "I can't forgive you for what you did, Ryan, for pushing me into something so vile, for even thinking it was okay to ask that of me. You crossed a line I can't come back from." He leaned back in his chair, his face twisting into a dismissive smirk, and tried to wave it off. "You're overreacting, Jess. It was just a fantasy, just a thought. I didn't force you into anything." But I saw through him now. His manipulation, the way he'd always twisted things to make me doubt myself, his complete disregard for how deeply he'd hurt me. His words didn't hold the power they once did. They just fueled my resolve. I knew I couldn't stay. The next day, I packed a bag. Don't forget to subscribe, like, and comment if you enjoyed this story. This will help us create more engaging stories for you.